So, what happens when a head of state finds themselves on trial in another country? It's a pretty wild scenario, right? Well, today we're diving into a really fascinating case where just a couple of sentences from a world leader in a courtroom turned into this powerful defense of his entire nation's sovereignty. And it all kicks off with this simple statement. He says, "I am a decent man. I am still president of my country." Now, that might sound straightforward, but coming from Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro, those two sentences are loaded. They're a massive challenge. And to really get why they're so powerful, we have to understand the scene, the context where he said them. All right, so where does this all go down? We're not talking about a presidential palace or some big political rally. No, this happens somewhere you would absolutely not expect to see a sitting head of state, a courtroom, in the United States. So let's break down the basics. The who, that's Nicolas Maduro. The where, a court in New York. And the when, well, this is really important. It's just days after something pretty dramatic allegedly happened. And that's the dramatic event. The whole reason he's even in court, according to him, is this really stunning allegation. He claims he was abducted by the US military. I mean, wow, that just completely changes the game, doesn't it? From his point of view, he's not there by choice. He's saying he was brought there by force. Okay, so how does this all tie back to what he said? Remember that quote from the beginning? It's way more than just a plea of not guilty. It's actually a really clever two-part declaration. It's designed to fight this battle on two different fronts at the exact same time. Let's break that strategy down. On the one hand, you've got the personal defense. I am a decent man. That's an appeal to his character, right? To his morality. But then, on the other hand, you have the political defense. I am still president of my country. And that's a whole different game. That's a claim about his legal and political status. So what's each part supposed to do? Well, the first part, it attacks the whole idea that this is a criminal trial. But the second part, that's arguably the real knockout punch. It attacks the court's authority to even judge him in the first place. He's basically saying, you have no power here. You can't try me because I am my country. I am Venezuela. And that line of thinking, that argument, leads us straight to the absolute core of this whole thing. It's the central idea here, the massive question of sovereignty. So, what do we even mean by sovereignty? Well, think of it like this. A nation is the captain of its own ship. It gets to steer itself, govern itself, and other countries can't just jump on board and start giving orders or judging its leaders. This idea, it is the absolute bedrock of Maduro's entire defense. You can really see his logic play out in a few steps. First, he claims his identity. He is the sovereign leader. That's the foundation for everything else. And because of that, he says, I reject the authority of this foreign court. And just like that, what could have been a simple legal plea gets transformed into a massive political challenge against the United States. It's a tactic that totally blurs the line between him as a person and the nation of Venezuela itself. His personal legal fight becomes this huge international standoff. So when you put all these pieces of the puzzle together, it becomes crystal clear. What was happening in that New York courtroom, it wasn't just about the law. It was a battle being fought with language. It was a war of words. And at the end of the day, for Maduro, that courtroom wasn't just a courtroom. It was a global stage. He wasn't just talking to the judge and the jury. Oh no. His words were a message aimed at everyone. His supporters back home, his allies around the globe, really the entire world was his audience. It really makes you think, right? When you see power, law, and this idea of sovereignty all collide on a stage like this, it brings up a huge question. When a leader is put on trial, who are they really talking to? Is it the court or is it the world?